because I'm not on the stream. Hey, everybody. Hey, this is Lolita E. Walker. I'm so excited to come to you. We are heading out um from our vacation, our spring break vacation. I have my son Walker that is here. And just come on in the room. That's his hand. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. This is day 3. Oh, that says day 2 right there. Let's get us to our day 3. Let me go ahead and modify that as you come on in the room and say hello. Let me know who you are and where you are dialing in from. We are live today, not only in my Facebook Coaching Cocktails and Conversations page, come on into the room, but also my Walker and Walker Enterprises page, which I do not go live in very often, and my YouTube channel. So hello, everybody. Let's get with it. Today we are talking about starting over. Oh my gosh, starting over in our 40s and 50s. Thank you, Stacy, who gave us that. Why didn't it change? Let me just see. 1 second, you guys. Technical difficulties really quickly. Starting over. I did change this before. Starting over in our 40s and 50s. All righty. Let's try to do enter on that. Let's see. Let's see. There it is. Boom and bam. Hello, hello. Yes, let's get us some. Hey, yay. Hey, Mr. Walker. Somebody said, hey, Mr. Walker. I can't see your name. He said, hey, y'all. Hey, he said, hello. Then we have live from Jersey. Okay. Whoa, not the 40s and 50s, though. I know that's right. Listen, the question came through from Stacy. Like, listen, I need to start all the way over. Now, she said 45 and 50, but I'm not quite at 45. So I said 40s and 50s. I'm at 40. And so here's what I think we want to do. Is Stacy on the line? Stacy, if you are here, let us know some specific questions. I think, when I think about change and shifting, sometimes people struggle because they're empty nesters now and they built their entire relationship around, hey, Robert Kennedy. Okay. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, it's not the 40s and 50. Hashtag boom and bam. Yes. Listen, if you guys haven't met Robert Kennedy the third, he was on my podcast and doing some amazing work in the speaking realm. So make sure you follow him and stay tapped in. Listen, I am coming to you live. I'm committed to 10 days, 10 minutes at 10 a.m. power powwows. And that is what we're doing today. People have gone ahead and said, hey, this is what I want you to chat about. And so if you haven't seen all of the other chats, for the last 2 days, make sure you head on over to Coaching Cocktails and Conversations, the private Facebook group, which is where I will be going live for these 10 days. I just decided to shake it up a little bit and talk to the folks on my business page as well to invite you on over to Coaching Cocktails and Conversations, the private Facebook group. We are so excited for everybody that is here. Listen, coaching is all about Soul said, hey, Mr. Walker. It was Soul that actually said that. Perfect. Hey, Soul. We talked Soul's question yesterday, and hopefully she got some intention out of that. But I'll come back to that. Coaching is where I just leave you with a couple nuggets to challenge your thinking. Just a little bit. Leave what you don't need right there at the bus stop. Cocktails is not so much about what you're sipping on, but guess what? It's more about celebrating the greatness of who you are when you choose to show up right here at my kitchen table. And then conversations is the juicy conversations that we have right here, because you guys crack me up and have me talking about some of the craziest things. But this is the thing. It's life. And there is absolutely no judgment because we all go through it. So yesterday it was about, what about when you're showing up when all of these successful people are around and you kind of feel stuck and you're shrinking? So we have we stayed 20 minutes yesterday really talking about that. And what are the lies that we tell ourselves? I left you with the 3 considerations in the form of LIE. I won't talk to you about that today because you just got to go back, click it, and let me know what you think. Today, it's really about starting over. So I'm not 45 or 50 yet. I am 44. So I'm going to lean in, unless you guys had anything specific that you wanted to talk about, just really about change and navigating change, how we can embrace where we are, act in our strengths, and thrive in our greatness. Not only because that was what my TEDx talk was about, but really it's because I truly believe it. When we deal with change, there's the beginning, Well, there's the ending, right? Then there's the middle, and then there is the new beginning on what I like to call the transition bridge, right? This bridge of transition that we're all going through. And here's the thing, that not everybody in our circle is going to be on the same place on the bridge, but we each deal with it differently. So how do you start over? Is really sitting in each of those phases, if you ask me, according to Lolita E. Walker. So the ending really is about acknowledging where it is that you are, right? There's some grief when we think about loss or ending something, right? So let's say you are an empty nester and your life has been really around your children, and now all of a sudden you wake up and there's no noise in the house. And you're like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? If you're with a partner, you might be like, oh, wow, I didn't know what it was to talk to you because I've been so busy running around to all of these activities. The point is that there is a change that is happening. So, how do you deal with it? Well, you acknowledge where you are. It's okay to sit in that for a minute. And then you really understand deeply, like, why am I feeling like this, right? How can I get the pieces that I loved? And then how can I rediscover the power of who it is that I am, right? So the ending is really all about knowing that there could be sadness because it is a loss. Like that is what you're experiencing right there in that moment. Have you been there? That's the question, right? Have you experienced this type of loss when you need to start over from anything? What I can talk about, because I have experienced this, is divorce, right? No matter if I asked for it or my ex-husband had asked for it, what I do know is that there is a loss that I experienced, what felt like a loss. I have been married, and then there's those feelings of expectations and failure. Then a little bit of joy that you feel a little guilty of. There's all of these things. Did I do enough? So there's all of these questioning. So that's where that doubt, that fear, that anxiety, that sadness might come in. But when you acknowledge that, guess what? I'm standing right here. I am here. There's no changing where it is that I am. So what am I going to do to move forward? You start moving up the bridge into this middle section where you're starting to embrace where it is that you are right now, right? You're starting to see that there's light at the end of this bridge, and that, yes, wait a minute, let me try to help rediscover who it is that I am. Lolita E. Walker, like, what are those things that bring me joy and passion and sit me in my most be free space? Has anybody been through that before? Of course, right? It might not be a divorce, but just think about any change that you're going through at this particular time. How do you start over? How do you really reclaim the bolder you? How do you really sit in the power of your pause and recognize that I am standing right here in this power of gratitude, right? So, some things you can begin to do is you can begin to write. I love writing. You can begin to grab a journal and start today. Starting over can be the title of it. Starting over with Lolita E. Walker. Insert your name and literally journal. And one of my favorite prompts is, in this moment, I feel what? In this moment, I feel what? And journal. Allow yourself time to simply pause and feel your most be free. How do you start over is to recognize that there's three phases to this thing, according to Lolita E. Walker. There is the ending, there is the middle, there is the beginning. Now, if in fact you had my first book, The Intersection of You and Change, then this is in Transition Turnpike. And it talks about starting over. It talks about how do you transition in the midst of change, right? So I've talked to you about the ending, some of what you'll feel inside of that space and knowing that it's okay. Then I'm now talking to you about the middle piece of that and recognizing that I am standing right here and I'm standing right at the top. So I might not feel my best all the time, but when I'm standing right here, I can now start to pour in and receive all of the blessings that are here for me. I'm starting to look down at my ending that I just left and pulling out the great pieces, right? Starting to remember, who was I before I was attached to that title? Who was I before? Maybe your title is the 30s. I don't know. Maybe you're feeling a certain kind of way because you're edging up and getting more seasoned. I'm not sure. Whatever your change is, acknowledging what that thing is. Got it? All right, good. Now we're at the middle. Now we're starting to inch ourselves towards our new beginning, because now we're starting to remember, who was it that I was when I was at this moment? Who was it that I am? Who is Lolita E. Walker? And I'm starting to rediscover the power of who it is that I am. How do you start over is acknowledging who it is that you are, leaning in on your strengths, standing upon your faith, rediscovering your core values, standing inside of those, doing some things that made you feel so good inside. What makes you smile? For me, it's dancing, hanging out with my friends. Do those things, make those things happen. If you're an empty nester or you're starting to feel like, oh my gosh, there's more for me. We talked about there's more for me yesterday. Then what is that more? And who's stopping you from doing it? Not me. I'm all in to support you any way that you go. So today, for these 10 minutes, that's what I wanted to leave you with is how do you start over? Acknowledging where it is that you are, recognizing that there is the ending that you got to sit in, and you might still be sitting in that right now, but recognize that the light is over on this side. So you're going to sit in your transition bridge, right? And you're going to travel and navigate that thing with the folks around you who are going to support you. And sometimes you're going to have to do this piece alone, and that's okay. Recognize also, here's the trick, is that just because you are at the ending, right, still experiencing what you feel like is a loss, some people around you might be at their middle and their end for the same change. And know that that's okay. And when you can recognize that, then you can also recognize that if you are at your new beginning, stop trying to force people to get over there. Stop trying to force people to get over there. I remember, I talk about this in the book too. I remember when my father passed away. And after a little bit of time, my mom had a new boyfriend. And I'm a daddy's girl still today. And she was at her new beginning, but I was still at the ending. And I really remember feeling as though she was trying to force me to be where she was, and I wasn't there yet. You have to give people space to navigate this transition bridge. But the key is open communication and making sure that those people that are around you also know what you're feeling, because sometimes we don't communicate, right? So I hope that's super helpful. Listen, we're 13 minutes in. If you have anything that you want to add to this piece, then leave it right here. I could see it and I'll bring it on. Share with somebody, right? This is all about coaching, cocktails, and conversations. We need some juicy conversations because the coaching doesn't just come from me. It comes from the community. And that is what we're fostering right here. That's part of the reason why I'm going live for 10 days, because I want y'all hear my plate. Look, it's some eggs. I made some eggs. Can you see it? I can't wait to dig in. The juiciness is the conversations that we are going to have by way of community. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing this, is because to foster community is to recognize who is here, who is present, and who is willing to help to pour into others so that we can navigate this thing called life together. Right? Coaching, cocktails, and conversations, the power of what I'm able to bring to the table when I'm asking you, can we chat? Can we talk? Can we do this thing called life together? Is because I find extreme honor and pleasure and tangible takeaways in being able to meet you where you are, pull out all of the greatness that I see in you, reframe it back to you so that you can walk, talk, and behave differently every single day. It's really about a mindset of intention. And because I want to do that, I want to foster the community. So you're doing that. So, hey, if you're seeing this now, then what you need to do is come on over to Facebook, Coaching, Cocktails, and Conversations. And that's where these lives will be happening. I do have them on, we're also streaming on my YouTube channel, and we're also streaming in my Walker and Walker Change Facebook group as well. But that's in an attempt to let you guys know in the Walker and Walker Change, where you're following me for my business, and you get some of what I leave on Instagram, is to come on over, hang out at lolitawalker.com. But right now we're hanging out for 10 minutes every single day right here in Coaching, Cocktails, and Conversations. So if there's nothing more, leave your comments for the replay right there. I hope to see some of you power women as you release and lean into starting over and reclaiming the bolder you at my September Women's Weekend Renewal Retreat. It's going to be amazing, you guys. Oh my gosh. I'm starting to announce the power players that are coming that's going to lean into you all. So I'll be posting some of those things inside of the Coaching, Cocktails, and Conversations. Yes, yes, and yes. And then we have Soul, who says, thank you for this. Hugs. We'll watch again. Peace from Jersey. Yes. And I am saying peace from, where am I? Williamsburg, Virginia, because I am headed back to Maryland in only a couple minutes. Bye, you guys. See you tomorrow.